The education sector in Australia faces escalating cyber threats due to basic vulnerabilities like weak authentication and inconsistent security practices, making it crucial to address these issues right now. For more, I'm joined in the studio by Geoff Schomburgk from Yubico. Great to see you again.
Thank you, Aaron. Good to be here.
Talk to us about why cyber criminals are targeting the education sector.
I think because the information that is there is of incredible value. So you've got information, contact details about young people, students. You've got the email. You've got often you've got health information, medical information, and then from the parents' point of view, you've often got their financial information, their credit cards and so on. So it's a rich goldmine of data.
Now the thing is they're using pretty straightforward tactics. Is that correct?
Yeah. So 80% of the data breaches that we see are as a result of phishing attacks. That's made even more compromise challenging because of AI. It's really accelerated and hypercharged these phishing attacks. So attackers no longer have to use sophisticated attack methods. They just log in because they've got the credentials from these phishing attacks.
And talk to us about, I guess, some of the common weaknesses we see in cyber hygiene.
Yeah. A lot of it is accepting that some of the techniques that we've been using for many, many years are actually okay. The world's moved on. And the cyber criminals know that, and so methods that we're familiar with, such as SMS or authenticator apps, or sending you an email link, they can be easily intercepted and phished. So we have to move to these more sophisticated.
I got to say, as a consumer, that is so frustrating.
Oh, isn't it?
You should sit around this office the amount of times that I have to log in to different things every single day.
Yep.
And you think, all right, now where's the phone or where's the authenticator app? And the idea that that isn't safe enough.
Correct.
Gosh.
Because as I said, the cyber criminals, they know how to get through that now. So we need to move to stronger methods of authentication, which we'll call phishing resistant. The term passkeys is starting to gain popularity in people's understanding, and that is probably the best way you can go.
Well, as you've mentioned before, this happens in a lot of organisations, but why specifically schools and universities? You talk about the medical data, you talk about the parents' financial data. Is that the reason why?
I think it is. There's that, and there's so many of them. So if you can get into one school, you've got, if it's an independent school, you've got potentially thousands of student records, or if it's into government schools, then there's hundreds of thousands or millions of records there. So as I said before, it's a rich goldmine of information that they can use to do bad things.
And obviously a lot of parents and teachers are expecting schools to be able to look after their data, but these aren't tech firms, and there are so many of them. So what do school leaders need to do?
Yeah, as you said, the school has a duty of care. Because the parents are trusting the school to look after their children, including their data. So, we have to move away from the thinking that cyber is a technical issue. It's an upgrade. It's not. It's a board issue. It's a management issue, and the cyber insurance companies will agree. It has to be taken more seriously and implement the measures that are out there today, available for use, that can restrict, quite significantly the risk of these cyber breaches.
At the moment, do you think for schools cybersecurity is a fundamental requirement?
Oh, absolutely. We've got many schools that we talk to, and we know that they're talking about how do I uplift my security, how do I reduce my risk and reduce my cyber insurance premiums, what can I do? So they're coming looking for advice on what they can do, and implementing these passkeys or phishing resistant authentication is certainly one of the easiest and fastest things they can do.
And because if the parents don't force you, the insurance companies certainly will.
Yes.
As those premiums, as you mentioned, come in. Talk to us about some examples of low friction solutions.
Yeah.
You touched on some before, but speak to me about those.
So there's always been this sort of conundrum that if I have a high level of security, it means it's complicated. Whereas this passwordless authentication that's been created, and Yubico was one of the inventors of that, but it was been designed from the outset to be easy to use, frictionless, and the highest level of security, phishing resistant, and available at global scale. So available on all platforms, all computers. So the term passwordless captures people's imagination, because as you said before, we're sick of trying to find our way through so many different things to log in. Let's just make it simple. So really reducing the friction and giving you the high level of security is is what we're about.
Yeah, and making sure you get the balance right, because people just want it to be simple, right?
Yeah.
I find myself with my Google Calendar constantly thinking I can't be bothered adding an event because I constantly have to, sign in again to Google. How do you get that balance right, do you think?
Well, I think the tech industry is trying to help. And so the concept of the Google and the Microsoft players of this world and some of the identity players making a single sign-on.
Yeah.
So log in once and make that highly secure. Think of your front door. Putting a really strong lock on your front door is a good way. Once you're in, you can go from room to room.
Just make sure the window isn't open. How can people find out more from you?
If they want to know more, yubico.com, our website. We've got a range of reseller partners who represent us in this country and around the world. So plenty of places to go to get information.
All right, Geoff, always appreciate you dropping by at Ticker. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Aaron.